Hello NASCAR fans, welcome back to week 2 of the Daily Fantasy NASCAR season. Head to Atlanta Motor Speedway for the Folds of Honor Quick Trip 500. Cars are going to be on track in about a half an hour, but before anything gets going on track, what I wanted to do was just kind of go through the sites that I write for and how to open the cheat sheet, as well as a lot of new customers coming in having a lot of questions about the cheat sheet. So I just wanted to make a general video going over how to utilize that cheat sheet to best get the information and build better lineups on DraftKings. So I'm here for Daily Fantasy Sports Rankings, rotoballer.com, the newest site I'll be writing for this season, rotopros.com. So let's get started. So over on Daily Fantasy Sports Rankings on the home page, what you're going to want to do to find my weekly preview article, which is going to come out on Wednesday afternoon, is click on Other and just scroll down. You're going to see Hockey, PGA, and NASCAR on this page. So down here a little bit, we've got the Folds of Honor Quick Trip 500 preview article. So what I do there, I kind of go over a bit of the track preview, fantasy strategy, and then I look at some trends for current and career track history, track type history, and then a few pre-qualifying practice targets. And then at the bottom you're going to see the picture here, as well as you can click on the DFS NASCAR cheat sheet. It's going to open up for you. Over on rotoballer.com, on the home page, what you're going to want to do is go up to More, click on NASCAR, and then you're going to see my weekly article right at the top. So I haven't done my article yet for this week, so we're just going to open up the Daytona 500 article from last week. And then what I do is I look at drivers post-qualifying practice to target, and then at the bottom here you're going to find the NASCAR DFS cheat sheet right here. And then over on rotopros.com, at the top of the page, what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to click on Articles, NASCAR, and there you're going to find my NASCAR Atlanta article. So same thing, going over race preview. This one's going to be coming out before any of the practice and qualifying as well right now. Kind of look at the schedule, early dominator targets, and then some value targets before qualifying and practice. And then at the bottom, this is where you're going to find the link to the Google Sheet. So click on any of those, and what you're going to do is you're going to open up a view-only sheet. So what you're going to want to do, first of all, if you want to be able to sort any of the columns or construct your own model, is go up to File, make a copy, name it whatever you'd like, and click OK. It's going to open up your own version of this cheat sheet, and then what that's going to allow you to do is sort columns. So for example, if you wanted to sort by DraftKings average points over the last 6 races at the Atlanta track, that's column F. So you click anywhere in that column F, and you're going to go up to Data and sort Z to A, which is highest to lowest. Now all the drivers are sorted by their performance, DraftKings performance over the last 6 races on that track. So you're going to be able to do that in any column. So we're just going to kind of go through the sheet here, and I'll explain a few things to you. So first of all, we've got current track history. So that's the last 2 years. And Atlanta, there's only 1 race per year on this track now, I think since about 2010. So we're only going to have 2 races here. So if you want to look at average finish over those last 2 years, you can click in anywhere in that column N, go up to Data, sort A to Z, which would be lowest to highest because we're looking at average finish. You can see how drivers have performed there. You can also click, I've got DraftKings average in those 2 races, so you can go there and click Z to A because DraftKings scoring, you're going to want to look at highest to lowest. As you can see, Kevin Harvick has been dominant here over the last 2 years. He hasn't picked up a win or a top 5, but he has led 423 laps, and the next closest is Kurt Busch at 62. So laps led, dominator points at Atlanta is going to be really huge. So the next thing we got is career track history, which shows number of races, wins, top 5s, 10s, 20s, laps led, average start, average finish. So again, you can sort any of those columns and have a look at that. Sliding over a little bit more, we've got track type history, and that is also the last 2 years performance. I'm going to have to change that just up here to the last 2 years on 1.5-mile tracks specifically when looking at the intermediates. So again, you can sort by average finish, you can sort by top 5s, top 10s, wins, however you want to do it. And then current form, which right now, it's always going to show the last 6 races. So right now we're only 1 race into the season, so it's going to be a little bit skewed. So I'm not going to be weighing that until we get 6 races under our belt in this season. So over here, you're not going to see a form rank at all. That will come, like I said, after 6 races in the season. So then we got season form, so that's this season. As you can see, we got a number of races, 1. So it's going to show the drivers So as you come down here, you're going to see Austin Dillon with that win, and that's going to keep going up as well. I don't weigh any of this information. This is just kind of for view, so you can have a look and see. And then over in the dark purple here, this is where the model comes into play. So what you're going to see here is track history 2 year. We looked at that. That's average finish, and then we got DraftKings scoring in the last 2 races and the last 6 races. As you can see, I've got 60% of my early model on the DraftKings score, and I mean, that's kind of what we're looking at anyway. We've got career track history, that's going to be average finish. Track type history, that's average finish. And then DraftKings average on track type, and that is just last season. Right now, as we get into the new season, that's going to be kind of looking at current track type history as well. So then it's going to add up to 100. My model always adds up to 100 here. So this is going to be your weighted average when looking at these numbers up top. So what you can do is if you feel one of these is more important than the other, you can come up here and adjust those numbers. And then it spits out an overall rank here as well. And you can sort that column if you want as well. Like once you get your model adjusted, you can go A to Z. And it's going to list the drivers now by how they're ranked in your model. So something else to note, once practice and qualifying happens, I'm going to be opening up this practice and qualifying section, and we'll have weights on there. We're going to have practice 1 coming up here right away. Will be updated. Qualifying's a little bit later today. Those are going to have a weight to them, and then we've got final practice 10 lap average, and then qualifying practice differential. So what that's going to do is look at kind of a place differential value for each driver, looking at where they qualified versus their final practice ranking as well. So just to kind of get you some value there, especially when looking in the lower end guys. So that will be coming up later today, and I will just keep releasing each of these as those practices and qualifyings happen. So we'll look at some of the tabs at the bottom of the sheet here. Once practice and all the qualifying sessions are done tomorrow afternoon, you'll be able to come down to the post-qualifying targets here, and I'm going to have some dominator picks, some place differential picks, as well as some value plays. So if you have any questions on those, definitely ask me about them, but those will start showing up Saturday afternoon. The last 6 races tab is going to be updated each week, so it's going to look at the last 6 races at whatever track we're at that specific week. So we've got start, finish, place differential, fast laps, laps led, and then over here this is your DraftKings scoring, so points for finish points, fast lap points, laps led points, and then add in the place differential, and it gives you the total DraftKings scoring for that race. And then if you scroll down to the bottom and you want to just start analyzing each race, I've got kind of showing how many drivers had positive place differential for that race, double-digit place differential. We've got double-digit fast laps, 20 laps led, how many drivers led 20 or more laps, how many drivers led 50 or more laps, and how many drivers led 100 or more laps. Just kind of as a view, just to see, if you can pick out some trends as to what kind of look for each race. And like I said, for Atlanta for sure, and almost all mile-and-a-half tracks, we're going to be looking at dominator. We're going to be looking at fast laps and laps led specifically to grab those 2 or 3 dominator targets each week. So then, looking at the DraftKings scoring from each one of those 6 races, the next tab is DraftKings average. So it shows you the last 6 races and their DraftKings scoring for those races. And then this is going to change each week, because the last 2 years we're going to get into tracks where there's 2 races per year on that track, and this will be last 4 races average and then the last 6 races average. But for this week, because Atlanta's only got 1 race, we're just looking at the last 2 races average and the last 6 races average. And you can sort any of these columns as well, just to make it a little bit easier when you're viewing and kind of picking out your drivers. So then the DraftKings point averages, which is the next tab, this right now is looking at last year. So one thing I noticed here right off the bat is the color scheme is a little bit off. It'll be fixed here shortly once this video is over. Obviously green's going to be higher and red's going to be lower for your points. But this is every race last year and every driver in those races and how many points they got in each track. And then all the way over on to the right, I've split them up into track types. We've got plate tracks, short tracks, 1 mile intermediate, which is your mile-and-a-half tracks. There's 12 of them. 2 mile intermediate races, road courses, and 2.5 mile intermediate tracks. So if you want to sort by track type, and that is where I get the track type averages from when it comes to DraftKings points. So we got qualifying, that's going to be filled in later. Practices, that's going to be filled in once those start rolling in. I've got DraftKings, that's where I import the prices. This is the yearly stats from last year, or this year, sorry. The track history. This is where I pull that information from. So these ones sliding over here in the green are just kind of be your databases which feed into here. So you don't really need to look at those too much. The orange tabs are the ones that you're going to look at the most for sure. And then my other sheet that I share is the race by race trend sheet. This can be helpful when researching tracks. So the first thing we want to look at here, just wait for it to load. I've got points here for the 2018 season. So we've got the 2018 points trend. So we've only got one race, so it's kind of showing you who got what points their last race. So then we've got salary trend, which is nice to keep up on to see, which way driver salary is going, if we can maybe grab some value. And then we've got ownership. So we're looking at, GPP only here, not cash games. And then sliding over to the right, also in the green, we've got 2017 salary trend. So if you want to look back and see what a driver's price was last year on a specific track, you can go ahead and do that, as well as your DraftKings points from last year. This is also included, like I said, in the main cheat sheet, so you'll be able to check that out there. And then GPP ownership, which is nice to see. I tweeted out this morning this little tidbit here from Atlanta, the top 10 in GPP ownership last year. Their starting position, finish position, DraftKings points, final practice rank, and final practice 10-lap average. So if you want to look at that, maybe help you pick out see what was important last year, as well as pick out some values for this year as well. So I'll be updating that each week too. You'll be able to see it, and that's going to disappear once the race is over, of course. Once we move into Las Vegas and Phoenix and Fontana, each one's going to be, I'll be opening up another tab just so you can be able to see that information. So that pretty much goes over the cheat sheet. If you're looking, if you have any questions on any of this information, there's a lot of different avenues you can hit me up to ask questions. First of all, I'm on Twitter at Jaeger_bombs9. Rotopros.com also has a Slack chat if you're a member over there. I'm very active in there. Daily Fantasy Sports Rankings at the bottom of the article. There is a chat that you can join me in as well. You can ask questions there. And over on Daily Fantasy Sports Rankings, we've got the comment section of the article. We've got the member chat room over here. You can also hit me up in YouTube videos as well in the comment section if you're looking to ask questions there as well. If I missed anything, definitely shout out or reach out, and hit me up with any questions. And also pay attention, I'm going to be having another video come out Saturday afternoon with my final picks once the final practice is over tomorrow afternoon. With that, thanks for watching the video. Thanks for checking out all my content. And let's see some green screens this week. Good luck, everyone.